I'm the Chief Financial Officer for OSF Healthcare, and I'm also honored to be serving as the National Chair for HFMA. And two roles that I really enjoy, and the fact that I get to do that and bring together, something like I can sit on the stage and talk to all of you with the guitar in my hand is even better. So you'll probably wonder what that's all about, but we're going to talk about that. So my theme for the year is Dare You to Move. Now, it's my chair's theme for HFMA, and that is very similar to a lot of things and has a lot of intersections with what Dan just talked about over the last 30 minutes or so. So as we talk about Dare You to Move, what is that? What does that really mean? And if you didn't have a chance, to be at HFMA's annual conference or a chapter meeting, you'll hear this message there too, but hopefully I get a chance to bring it to you. So what Dare You to Move really is about, it's about making yourself uncomfortable. It's about getting out of your safe zone. All the things Dan just talked about in healthcare, all the change that's coming upon us. I've been in healthcare for 25 years, and I've listened to a lot of talk, including my own, and I think this is the time for walk. So that's what Dare You to Move is all about. It's about walking, because the time for talk is over. Things are not the same. So have you done anything to lose your footing momentarily? Have you stepped out on some rock that may not be completely secure? That's what Dare You to Move is all about. Where are you uncomfortable so you can grow to get stronger? Where you can grow to learn something you didn't learn before. That's what Dare You to Move is all about. I want to do I'm just going to do a quick ad, and Dan said I could do this. So HFMA is part of what my role is. It is an organization that Strata supports and partners on some very big initiatives. But HFMA is obviously our leading healthcare finance association across the country. We have a reboot of HFMA. If you haven't been part of the organization or haven't been out there, if you're a member, we have this a great new set of digital tools. HFMA is facing the very same thing that the rest of the healthcare industry is facing. Challenges, disruption, all sorts of things moving under our feet. And so we rebooted. And we have a new digital platform with new online communities and all sorts of other tools and relationships you can build just like you can in a great conference like this. So I encourage you to check that out. So Dare, what's that all about? I said it's about making yourself uncomfortable. It's about getting out of the arena, or getting out of the practice field onto the arena. And I'll talk about it a little bit here at the end before I finish up. But you can only practice for so long, and you can only get so good. Daring yourself to move away from the practice field and into the arena. Brene Brown said, and I have another quote of hers coming up, but she said something to the effect of, if you're not out in the arena getting bloodied and getting your butt kicked, then I'm not interested in your opinion. So I think that's where we all need to be. And I think we are in a great time in this industry to try this and to figure out what that means for you. And I can't figure out what that does mean for you. I know what it means to me in the theme. There's something personal, something professional, something in your volunteer life, something you need to step out and do. That's what Dare You to Move is all about. So Brene Brown said, it's clear that the days of engineering smallness and playing it safe to avoid criticism are over. And Dan said this very well in the opening to this session. Everything has changed. When I started in healthcare, it was pretty much build it and they will come. It was Field of Dreams. You put up another clinic, you put up another hospital, you open up another setting physically. Patients showed up. Revenue flowed. The money was, maybe it didn't feel like it back then, but those are the good old days. That's the way it was 25 years ago. It's not working that way anymore. And Dan talked about many of those disruptions and changes and just the intolerance for how much can we actually spend on healthcare, or how do we spend it on healthcare, right? So the days of engineering smallness and playing it safe are over. So engineering smallness, that's what it says. Thinking very small, thinking in very limited ways, protecting what we have. It's not, getting into things like, what's our vulnerability? How can we admit that maybe we're not perfect? That there are other ways we can do things. So the message of engineering smallness is just about protection. It's about thinking small, playing it safe. And if you find yourself, I've done it, and I have to talk myself out of it. Sometimes we do it to avoid criticism. And how far is that really going to get us, right? How far is playing it safe just so somebody can't criticize the decision we just made? How far will that actually get us? It certainly didn't get Strata to the company they are today by playing it safe. So all of us in nonprofit healthcare, I think Dan said it well, we're a unique group, and we're really in many ways called to serve, but sometimes that gets us thinking a little bit smaller than we probably could. So how are you going to use water? You're going to use it to build yourself a moat, put it around you? Or are you going to use the water like a river does, to move something? When was the last time you did something for the first time? When was the last time you did something for the first time? If you haven't done that, if you haven't had the feeling of that, I would encourage you to step out. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be personal, it could be professional. It becomes a habit, and then we can bring it to work with us. So I've come to realize in the work that we do, and we have so many things entrenched, that if you don't break it, it makes it really hard to get anywhere. There is room for incremental growth. There is room for incremental improvement, continuous improvement. I believe that. But when something has high stakes and is stuck, then you got to break it. I'll give you a couple of examples. OSF Healthcare this year, we eliminated our budget. We're using the forecasting and dynamic planning tools that Strata provides us. We eliminated our annual budget. You can talk to these folks down here in the front row how we did that. But we broke it. And when we broke the process, people got twitchy and people were uncomfortable. We made them, you know what, I didn't necessarily think through it that way, but that's what happened. But if we tried to incrementally do that, wouldn't have gotten there. But I think we have seen some great breakthroughs in how our organization is thinking about our resources today over a year ago when we were using traditional budgeting processes. Break it is something like burning the bridge. I have another musician acquaintance that I know, and he decided to just go out on his own and stop with his day job and just play music. When you do that, you can't go back. He's like, it made me focus in a way I've never focused before. Same thing with taking the budget away. When you don't have the old thing to fall back on, it makes you focus. And so it is. And you've got to be prepared. Fear and failure are both part of Dare You to Move. And those I call the F words that we don't want to talk about. We should use fear positively. We should take failure as necessary to get to where we want to be. So I would turn those on the head of what we think. Let's not avoid failure. Let's assume we're going to have it. Let's prepare for it. Let's prepare for the biggest wave of the day on our head and go for it. This is a Venn diagram I put together, and it talks about the finance workforce of the future, and it's one of those Dare You to Move moments. I really believe in it strongly. I believe Strata can be a great part of that too, as well as HFMA and all of our organizations together. The work that we do today is not the work of the future. And I see a lot in my own finance teams and finance teams around the country where we're still doing the old work. Dan mentioned that. He mentioned, the work is out with our operators and our operations folks. And that's where our work needs to be. But if you think our work is a craft and it can't be, built in a bigger scale, and you're thinking about the finance workforce of the future, people will start to say, oh, I just want to get to retirement. If you think about our work as a craft, which it really isn't anymore, much of it, and you're in protection mode, then you want to avoid it, right? And if you're in protection mode and you're thinking about the workforce of the future, finance workforce of the future, then maybe you want to blame, everything's changing. Can't believe everybody wants that new software. That new software is not going to work right, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to blame something. But I say, get ready to take the biggest wave of the day on your head. Be ready for the change. Be part of the change. Drive the change. Move it. And I dare you to move. There are no disposable moments, so whatever your dare you to move moment is, tell somebody about it. Post it. I've got a couple of slides up here. Got a couple of places you can do that on LinkedIn. You can take a picture of the slide. In fact, I'll just leave it up right now. I'm going to tell you real quickly about my dare you to move moment, personally. It's doing this right here. It's playing guitar. Did an open mic for the first time about 18 months ago. Never played in front of people. Sat in my lower level of my house. I'm going to do the best I can, wrap this up. I don't have it in the monitor right here, but makes it a little hard for me to sing and play, but I'm going to do it anyway. So if I sound bad, just blame it on that, right? So I played for the first time 18 months ago in front of people. It's scary. Sitting up here doing this, scary. Scary right now. I'm not particularly comfortable doing this. But if I sat in the lower level of my house and kept trying to get better, I wasn't going to get any better. Unless I replicate being in front of faces and all the emotions that go with it and how my arm's going to move and how my voice is going to come out, I can't do that sitting at home. I can't do that on the practice field. I got to get into the arena. So I want to finish up with this song that I wrote. I'm a songwriter as well. It's called Don't Think Twice. I bought some eggnog in May, Mardi Gras in November, and Christmas lights in June. Do something they'll remember. Put the spoon on the dog, and have the nerve try something new. It's your time to speak, 'cause that elephant is looking at you, and I dare you to move, and don't think twice, 'cause everyone is waiting. It's your sacrifice. Aunt May and Uncle Robert had some good advice. We dare you to move, and don't think twice. You'll never have the guts if you ever look down. Keep your eyes on the windshield and your feet on the ground. Those who came before us said it won't be easy, and nothing ever is if it don't make you a little queasy. Too afraid, put it out there. Too afraid, break the mold. Those eggs are delicate, at least that's the story we've been told. Son, don't you think it's time to roll those loaded dice? Never listen to them, and don't think twice. 'Cause if they're not in the game, then they don't know what it's like. I dare you to move and don't think twice. I dare you to move and don't think twice. Everyone is waiting. It's your sacrifice. I dare you to move. All right. Go do something they'll remember. I dare you.